This is going to be part one of a multi-video series going into the subject of autism. Now, I am high-functioning autism, whether that's Asperger's or something else, I really don't know because we were just told that I was high-functioning. Now, this is a diagnosis that happened when I was 6. I progressed exponentially. You know, I'm not tooting my own horn. You know, I have battles that I face every day, will face every day until they bury me in the ground. But just to delve into this a little bit, the first point that I want to make, first video that I want to make is giving of information. What do I mean by this? I mean, your condition is your condition, and once you reach a certain age, or whatever you find out that you are, realize whatever. That is for no one else to tell but you. For a couple different reasons. First of all, it's just like any other medical information. That's your information. It is not supposed to go to anybody else unless you want them to. Now, another part of this is, okay, people who are not familiar with autistic people seem to categorize us in a certain area of the spectrum that we might not all be in. And one example is, okay, for anybody who's seen the movie Rain Man, or if anybody has seen the latest Netflix series Atypical, these are certain parts of the spectrum. Completely different. I mean, we know that there's a real big difference between Rain Man autistic and Sam autistic on Atypical. And I would also like to mention the fact that these are an excellent portrayal of the condition within itself. Just to put out a story, my grandmother and I were at the mall for for my birthday. She was stopping by a hair place. Well, the ladies were there and they were talking and everything. And my grandmother comes from the hills of Kentucky, a bit backwards, and sometimes she, like an autistic person, doesn't understand social norms at times, or doesn't know when she's, stepping a little bit out of line. And I mean, God love her. I mean, when I confronted her, she said, I'm just so proud of how far you have progressed." And once she said that, that touched my heart. But she, in the middle of this conversation, pointed to me and said, "He's autistic." Well, these ladies must have taken me for Rain Man autistic, because one of them was trying to get me to sing, treating me like a child, like I had the mind of a child. And not gonna lie, it made me furious. And it was all I could do to look at her and say, "Lady, I'm autistic, not retarded." Which, that's never an okay word to use, and I apologize for using it. That's kind of what I was going through in my head, because people, like I said, have a preconceived notion of what autism is, what autistic people act like, because they've either seen Rain Man, they've seen Atypical, or they've encountered somebody who is on a different part of the spectrum than a high-functioning autistic person. And to anybody else who's watching this who may have an autistic child, autistic nephew, whatever, be very, very cautious about telling people about that person's condition. I refuse to say disability, because disability, although yes, it is another term, it's not degrading, but in a way it's kind of setting a limit. Like in my head, if I say I got a disability, oh, well, you can't do something, or you can't do multiple things. No. Fact of the matter is, I was diagnosed with a certain set of traits that I have that fall under an umbrella or spectrum, and I may or may not do A, B, and C. And I will tell you right now, I'm like any other autistic person. Once I know about something, I know it. I know everything about it. I read about it until my eyes fall out of their sockets. I know it. And once it's in here, ain't no getting rid of it. It's not getting rid of it. I am sorry. Sometimes I alternate between I don't know, Yankee talk and, you know, my grandmother's Appalachian dialect. So you'll have to forgive me if I speak improper English because I'm so used to conversing with my grandmother or my grandmother's family, my dad, because that's what side of the family it's on. Back to the main point. For those of you who are autistic, no, it is not something to be ashamed of. Don't ever be ashamed of it. That is who you are, and it is who you will always be. It's up to you. How do I put this? It is up to you, just like everything else in life, to make of it what you're going to make of it, good or bad. You know, you can either sit in a corner and say, I'm autistic, there's no hope for me, this, that, and the other, or you can say, yeah, motherfucker, I'm autistic, but I'm just like any of the rest of you. You know, I mean, we may be a tad different, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're people, just like anybody else. You know, we love, we laugh, we cry, we hurt, whole shebang. And I'm going to talk about what I'm about to say in another video, but a lot of us have been through somebody finding out that we are, who is a parent of the person that we're dating, and automatically in their head debilitates us from ever being anything to their child, because all they see when they see us, oh, well, she's going to have to take care of him if they end up together, or he can't do anything, she can't do anything. You know, trust me, I've been through this. I know, unfortunately. And more reason to be very careful about who you tell that you are autistic. I think that's going to be the end of this first video. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. You know, I mean, if you feel that I've not accurately portrayed things in our life, let me know. I mean, let me know if I can expand on something. Because to my autistic brothers and sisters, we're all in the same boat. So if there is something that you need me or want me to be a voice about, let me know. I got you. I got your back. And to my autistic brothers and sisters, I fucking love you guys. And I'm glad that I'm not the only autistic person in the world. But more to come.